Hey, my name is Mike, and this is a too long didn't read version of Mythic Hellfire Assault. You start off by fighting Siege Master Martok and a few ads. The ads will die from AoE, so don't really worry about them, just focus on Martok. Martok will throw a Hallowing Axe at someone. This axe will do damage to anyone within 8 yards of that person, so make sure ranged are spread out. She also has a frontal cone ability that you don't want to stand in. Your goal is to bring her down to about 50% health so she leaves the fight. Throughout this fight, you'll be fighting a few ads. Some of these ads will spawn in these orange circles, so make sure not to stand in these. The hulking berserker is usually your #1 priority. He puts a stacking debuff on the tank that increases the damage they take. You always want to try to kill the berserker before a new berserker spawns. The Felcaster has 2 interruptible abilities that you should try to interrupt as often as possible. When it gets low on health, it turns into a Gorebound Terror, which does raid-wide AoE. You want to make sure to kill these really quick. You also want to try to make sure never to have more than 1 Terror up at a time. The Contracted Engineer repairs the siege vehicles that spawn throughout this fight. He also does the Shock Pulse, which stuns people for 6 seconds. This can be interrupted and it can be dispelled. He also spawns these bombs on the ground, so don't stand near those. To start this fight, my guild just kept all the ads in the center. Before moving to the siege vehicles that spawned, we made sure all the ads were dead. Throughout this entire fight, siege vehicles will also be spawning. On Mythic, siege vehicles will be spawning on the left and right hand side. The Flame Belcher will spit green fire in front of it, so try not to stand there. The artillery does a lot of damage towards the cannons that you want to keep alive throughout this fight. The Demolisher will spawn these red circles that you don't want to stand in. Whenever a siege vehicle dies, it will drop ammo that you can pick up and take to the cannon. This ammo will stay on the ground for about 10 minutes, so you do not have to pick it up right away. You need to feed the cannons ammo to beat this fight. When you first walk into Hellfire Citadel, the left side is the side that my guild prefer to send more people on, and the reason for that is there's more Felcasters and more important ads on that side. The right hand side isn't as DPS intensive. About 3 minutes into the fight, a transport vehicle and a crusher will spawn. When these come out, both the left and right side should have all their vehicles and all their ads dead. If there's any vehicles still alive, make sure to kill them really quick. The transport should be melee's priority, and the crusher should be ranged priority. The crusher has a fire around it, which is why melee shouldn't be on it. It'll also damage anyone in front of it. If it reaches a cannon, it'll do an ability that will most likely wipe you. As long as the transport is up, it will be spawning ads. One of the ads that spawns is a mini boss called Grand Corruptor Urog. Urog will spawn these green swirlies, and if you're standing within 2 yards of them, you'll take a ton of damage, so try to avoid these. He'll also deal about 90% damage to a couple people in the raid. When he does this, he also heals himself a little bit. My guild found it best to pop all our offensive cooldowns for Grand Corruptor Urog. About a minute later, Groot will spawn. Groot has a frontal cone ability like Martok. He'll also leap towards random people, so don't stand in the swirly, and he also puts the slam debuff on the tanks like the berserkers do. This is easily the most hectic part of the fight. After this, you should go back to your sides and continue the fight as normal. For this fight, my guild always prioritized the berserkers. We made sure that the berserker was dead before the next one spawned so the tank could drop his debuff. If we happened to push one of the Felcasters into a terror, we would make sure to kill it right away so we didn't take too much damage. If those 2 ads were dead, we would focus the siege vehicles. Your defensive cooldowns can be used whenever you feel necessary. Chances are you'll probably need them when the transport and the crusher come out. That was a too long didn't read version of Hellfire Assault on Mythic. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. Thanks for watching and have a great day.